to be a beacon for young women to realize that they can be powerful in any situation. They can take control of whatever's going on in their life and turn it around and spin it to make it work for them. And you know what? Life ain't fair. Life is not fair. And when you get lemons, how are you prepared to make lemonade?
Hey everyone, welcome to speakHer Box podcast again with your host Nadia, Sasso,
and Hetep. We're here again.
Yes, for collection 2, episode 3. So we're excited for our special guest. You know, episode 3, we always bring in someone from the community, from the culture, and today we have brand architect, media mogul, Erika Pittman.
Right, amazing, bomb woman. We ain't gonna waste your time with talking. We just gonna get right into it.
Yes, because she's a boss.
Hey.
Welcome, Erika!
Oh, hi, ladies. We're such an amazing intro. Thank you. Yeah.
So we're going to get right into this, and we're going to do an icebreaker. And so we wanted to know what song is playing on repeat on either your phone, iPod, whatever the case may be. Podcast, whatever. Yeah. What is on, what theme song, what is motivating you? What are you listening to?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I feel so bad. I'm totally not ready to answer it because I should know the name of the artist. So there's this one song that is out right now and everybody's playing it. What's the little girl? And she's like, I am healthy. Oh yeah, there it is. I am. The song I Am by Young Baby Tatt.
Oh, that's a good song.
You guys know that song?
Yeah. Okay, so you got to tell us why it's on repeat.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Listen to the words. She is making these affirmations. She is claiming. She is owning everything, you know, that's going on in her world. She's very, very self-possessed and clear about her power. And it's just a reminder of, you know, you really control your destiny, and life is about the way, you know, that you perceive it. It's not about the circumstances. It's about the way you process the things that come your way. And I mean, the chorus is a total affirmation. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am rich. I am that bitch. I'm protected, well respected. I'm not gonna take this shit. Like, come on. She's like really like spitting it. That's exactly what you are, honey. And I'm so happy you know that. And it's that level of positivity and confidence and affirmation that we need to make sure we're instilling in, you know, our peers, young women, and just women in general, you know, to own yourself.
Right. Because that term I am is so affirming. And then even with like Buddhist mantra, they always do like start with the I am, like to confirm to who you are. I am, you know.
I am. And in the Bible, I am that I am. When you I am is a representation of God, because we are all in God's image. And so it's very important that we're using our words, particularly as we refer to ourselves, we use powerful words. You know, it's funny, I've been doing a lot of work around, you know, just a lot of spiritual internal work and understanding the power of our words and our tongue and what you put out into the universe and how it creates. It's the beginning of the manifestation of things to be. And the idea of spelling. When you're spelling, you're casting a spell.
With your words.
Right.
Your words, right? Your words have power. And so it's just so important when we're talking about ourselves that we're speaking life into ourselves and speaking our dreams and speaking from the affirmative and not from the negative.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would because it's a pandemic right now, honestly, and especially black people, black women, we always seem to get like the brunt of, and it's so easy for us to self-doubt because so many outside world always
imposter syndrome. All of it is real.
Yeah. So what would you suggest are like things that people should be doing during this time, especially in the black community, to make sure they affirm the I am?
Well, I think that's a great question. You know, it's funny, the imposter syndrome is real. I talk about it in my book. I don't have a full chapter on it, but I do speak about imposter syndrome, and it's sort of held me back in my life, believe it or not. You know, with all the things that I've been able to try to accomplish or have accomplished, I still have played a small game in certain instances. There were areas where I shrunk, or when I was, afraid to kind of step out because I didn't think I had what it took, or, I wasn't perfect at it, or knew intrinsically every single thing about a particular subject matter. So, imposter syndrome is really a real thing. Michelle Obama has talked about, suffering with imposter syndrome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are a number of really powerful, successful people that talk about it quite often, and being able to materialize your dreams in spite of it. But as it relates to COVID, I just think this is a really awesome time for everyone to get to know yourselves. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy for everyone. I happen to be incredibly effective. I was an only child as a very young child, and I spent a lot of time alone. I was a latchkey kid. I spent a lot of time by myself. And so I have a level of comfortability with being alone. I'm very, very comfortable with it. Like I am right now, there's no television on. I'm in this beautiful room with a lot of sunlight, and I'm just quiet and with myself. And I think the pandemic is forcing people to slow down and get in touch with themselves. But what's happening is so many of us have been deflecting and avoiding the shadows. Mm-hmm. The shadows. We all have them. And the shadows are a result of experiences throughout life. Unfortunately, the shadow parts of our personalities they stem from trauma, big traumas, small traumas, letdowns, disappointments, regrets. There are things that happen in all of our lives, no matter how you were raised, what you were exposed to, that have created some level of trauma for us and have helped to sort of develop our identity. And what we've done is, because of those traumas, we've become ashamed of those parts of our personality.
Yes.
And we don't admit to those little nasty, funky parts of our personality that we all have. Mm-hmm. And so what we are is we're not in congruence with our shadows. Mm-hmm. So we don't really know who we are.
Mm-hmm. And some of that stuff is not even ours. It's from our parents or siblings. Like, that stuff that we need to work through. We need to give it back to whoever gave it to us.
Yeah.
We need to are your personality. So now you have to tap in to why she's triggered. Why, when someone says something to you, why does it make you react the way it makes you react? Or when someone does something around you, why does their energy and their circumstance absorb for you in that way? That's your shadow. You have to get to know her. Why is she so mad? Why are her feelings hurt? Why is she? Because if you don't, she's controlling the narrative.
Yeah.
So that's
right.
You got to check in, do a self check-in.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're focusing on it. It's fantastic. All of this positivity and, becoming your greatest self and, operating from a space of love and, all of these this light work and staying in the light. Right. But during this time, it's time to get into the dark a little bit too. People sit with jealousy. People sit with envy, hate, greed. The 7 deadly sins. People are dealing with those demons, and you have to understand why. Why am I drinking like this? Why am I smoking like this? Why am I in this toxic relationship? Why am I having unprotected sex? Why am I dealing with an ex that I know is toxic and abusive? Why do I continue to maintain these friendships that I'm maintaining? Why am I spending this money I don't have? Why am I in debt? Why haven't I manifested the things that I said I was going to manifest? Why won't I work out? The list can go on and on and on and on and on. Right. And it's your work that's going to get you the answers about why those things are occurring. And until you face her, you're not going to be able to excel in the light. And that's what this pandemic has created for me and hopefully for a lot of other people. And I just want them to realize that that's what's going on. And so running from it is not the answer. You have to lean into it. Unfortunately, get to the bottom of why you're hurting in that way and help her or him to heal.
So it sounds like you've gone through a lot of this process. So what can you tell us a little bit more about the things that you've done or that you might recommend to someone who's listening?
Because I need it, girl. Today. I need it. I need you to speak to me.
Because I feel like you just read us. Now you got to tell us, okay, yes. Do the read. How do we
litany of examples. That's not for anyone in particular. Those are not necessarily all things that any of us on this dialogue are doing, but it certainly we can tap in and relate to some of them, right? But it was an example of these very natural things that happen for us every time that we're not even cognizant of, that we're these coping mechanisms, and we're self-medicating for these problems. And so, or these, excuse me, not these problems, for these parts of our personality, because they're not problems. They're who we are. And so I've been really doing this work recently, and I didn't know about shadow work until maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I'm still learning. But what I try to do is I try to think about, I journal a lot first and foremost, but
that's good. Yeah. I'm a journaler.
Yeah.
You guys journal a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Nadia. She's getting me into like writing everything down, managing my life and my self-care.
Well, yeah, journaling, and then also so before I used to use like a regular planner, just because, you know, being type A, wanting to get things done, wanting to be successful and all these things, and being the first of many. But I recently switched to a planner by Inner Guide that's more about self, like being productive, but also taking care of yourself. So in that, there's spaces that remind you, like, how are you feeling today? Were you nice to yourself? Here's a space for you to journal, or doodle or whatever, but really just putting that at the forefront. Like, did you pray today? Then, what else is on your to-do list?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think anything that helps you to sort of regiment in a space to advance you is a positive thing. I don't use a planner, believe it or not. I am it's terrible. I'm balance your checkbook in your head kind of girl. Everything's in my head. It's awful. It's so awful. And I usually have an assistant that helps to get it out of my head and keep me straight and narrow. I don't right now currently, and I'm struggling, but I just physically have the time to write things out and then reference it to be able to do what I need to do. I sort of just go do it. But I love the idea that you have a planner. That's fantastic. But when you are journaling, particularly around your emotions, your feelings, your personality, or experiences that you've had throughout your day, it's important for you to be honest with yourself about why. Why a pint of ice cream? What was I feeling? What happened that triggered me to want to eat an entire pint of ice cream or an entire pizza pie, or drink a full bottle of wine, or see that ex that I knew I wasn't supposed to see? Why are you doing that? What are you feeling that you're trying to satiate? Because you're trying to pacify yourself with something. So you have to get to the bottom of why you're hurting in that space. I feel insecure. I feel like giving up. I feel like this is not working. Why do I feel that? You have to dig into it. And it all starts with a pint of ice cream. It's that simple. Why are you making these very small actions in your life? What are you trying to achieve when you know these things are counterproductive to what it is you're trying to get done? And once you can dig in and get to the deeper levels, that's when you get that shadow work. I'm because my mother told me I wasn't good enough. I'm doing this because my father left. I'm doing this because I was overweight as a child. I'm doing this because I was sexually abused. I'm doing this because I was neglected. I'm making things up because I don't know what they are. But just from sheer action of eating a pint of ice cream, if you are brave enough to dig into the whys and go deep, you can start to unravel and chisel away to what the core issues are around those behaviors. And then you can start to heal her and help her to understand that while that happened, that's not who you are today.
Right.
And there's a cope with those feelings.
Right. So
she's still there, but the way that you're dealing with your shadow personality helps her to manage differently in your life today.
Right. So
you person where you're not overspending money because you just need this dress to feel good because you want to look good or whatever that is. You're investing your money so that you can buy the home that you want to buy instead of buying the dress. Or instead of making sure that every single time you have a new outfit on social media, you're saving your money because you want to have a wonderful vacation with your mother for her, 60th birthday, or your best
Right.
or something that's going to really enrich your life,
Right.
not make you hot for the gram.
Right.
Because ma'am,
They put on for the gram. A lot of
ma'am,
people do.
Duchess Kate can wear her outfits over. The Duchess of York can rerun her outfits. Certainly,
Exactly. Yeah.
I wear all my clothes. I'm going to wear
Right.
them as many times.
You pay for it too. You
Right.
might as well enjoy it.
Right.
I'm bi, so I triple dare somebody to challenge me. So I can wear whatever I want to wear,
Right.
and no one pays, so it doesn't matter.
Right. I'm thinking too while you were speaking, like it's checking. What about the people around you? Like, how does your tribe support you through your wellness journey? And
then how do you support your tribe as well?
Yeah, how do you support your tribe? Or if you should do your wellness journey at first by yourself. Like Nadia is my accountability partner. Mm-hmm. So she's
and
like,
vice versa.
Yeah, so she's good with this, like you checking in and just making sure that I'm learning how to take breaks, take a moment. And so as you going through your wellness journey, what about your tribe?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think your tribe is pivotal to your advancement in general. You know, I said this the other day in a similar conversation, and I believe that you are most like the 6 people you spend the most time with. So it's very, very important that you audit the people that you're around professionally and personally, because you become them.
Yeah.
Take on their personality traits. You are inspired or not inspired by their behavior. And so it's very, very important to align yourself with like-minded people, but people that are going to continue to advance and expand you. That's the first thing. But in terms of your wellness journey, the deep work is always going to be on your own. You have to be brave enough to do it for yourself. Codependency is just not a healthy space to be in when you're trying to grow and evolve, because there's no one on this planet that knows you the way that you know you. Mm-hmm. And wellness journey, you're getting to know yourself at a deeper level. And that's not something you can take a friend with you on. Mm-hmm. Right? So you just really have to do this work by yourself. I will say having a tribe and having a network of people that have a level of understanding for the space that you're in is very important, because when you're doing this work for yourself, you know, holistically, physically, spiritually, emotionally, people have to be on your wavelength. They have to understand the space that you're in. You know, if you're deciding to detox that week, they need to understand that you're not going to be able to go to dinner. Or if you go to dinner, you're not going to be able to eat. Or if you're not drinking, there's no judgment. It's just you're not drinking that week. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, whatever the case may be, you need the support of your peer group for them to just understand that you are in a space and in your journey. And I have to be honest with you, not everyone is going to be in congruence with your journey. The people that love you dearly. Like some of my best friends, I had to come to Jesus with my dearest friends recently, because I didn't feel like they were being supportive in my journey. Isolated. And it was just really a matter of me being on a different wavelength than they were. It wasn't intentional, but I felt very alone. And, you know, after admitting that, I had to come to terms for my own self that it's not their responsibility.
Yeah.
This is a journey between God and I. And there are things that we're doing together that's nobody's business. So yeah, you know, I think your tribe is important in terms of being understanding and supporting from afar. And even the accountability is nice, but yeah, I have friends and we were doing things together in terms of working out. You know, we're checking in and we're having dialogue around our wellness journey and the things that we're discovering. You know, we check in every, 1 or 2 weeks, and, sometimes we'll go walking together or work out together, but.
Right. And, something about that is I find, because me and my friends started having just real open conversations, and it happened, like, these are my good girlfriend friends. And I realized just one person saying something has opened a floodgate of other people in our friend group to kind of share. And you didn't realize that this person was going through something way traumatic and needed support, and like without another one of the person in the friend group just mentioning one word. So that gave me a thing, like I definitely need to check in with my tribe a little bit more, especially being in LA. Most of my friends are in New York, so the time difference, so we just kind of only group chat. And then I realized, wait, hold up, somebody said something and we're like, wait, we actually need to get on the phone, we need to check in, call each other, have a 3-way. And And I realized that just doing that opened up a Pandora's box that took our friendship to another level. Because now I have multiple people in our friend group that are now having honest conversations, you know.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think communicate with each other and have honest dialogue about our growth and expansion is so important. Definitely.
Well, one question I really have, when have you felt the most powerful? Because you've been a C-suite executive, you've been, you know, you've dubbed yourself as a fixer, you've had an amazing career, and now you're putting in this, you know, the self-work and doing everything that you need to be. Mm-hmm. So given your vast experience so far and journey, when have you felt the most powerful?
You know, it's funny. I'm going to say something that sounds really superficial, but it helped me in so many ways in terms of evolving my personality. When I did the television show, I did a reality TV show almost 7 years ago now. July will be 7 years, called The Singles Project on Bravo.
Yeah.
And I actually won an Emmy for that reality show. I'm very proud of that work because it was something that was completely out of the box for me. Yeah. And what many people don't know, while I talked about it a lot during the show, I wasn't able to really express the significance of why I decided to do the show. But for me, I was so separate in my personal life and my professional life. Like I just did not want the two to merge. I am very private, even still, about my life and just sort of how I operate on a personal level. Like a lot of people don't know that I have a big sense of humor, really easygoing. Some people like sort of peg me as this super ice queen, you know, but I'm totally not. And like nothing is cancer except cancer. Praise God. Mm-hmm. I don't operate in that way. But you know, many people don't always know that, and so it was important for me earlier on in my career to display this really stoic, well buttoned up, powerful, quote unquote, you know, A-type, almost masculine personality so that I could thrive and succeed in the professional world. You know, look at.
So I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
No, we were just saying that we can relate to that. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, I felt like I needed to almost be like the suspenders and the pants, pinstripe suit and button down, be really masculine to, you know, to thrive and succeed. And I think, you know, when people look at me visually, they don't think that I have the capacity to be, you know, this really buttoned up professional, you know, and be a very senior level executive and operate on a vast a number of subjects and subject matters. And Dr. Nadia, you know, example, right? But I think, you know, I decided randomly that year, it was 2014. I remember New Year's Eve, 2013. I was so frustrated and I decided to take command of my life. I said, I'm going to do what I want to do this year. And I was on the beach in Miami a couple of days after New Year's and was walking along the beach and I was listening to Tony Robbins, believe it or not, for the first time. And I had an epiphany and I was reading the book, The Alchemist as well that week. And it really was eye-opening, those two situations. And I made a list. I said, I want to accomplish 3 things this year before June. I said, I want to freeze my eggs. It was very, very important for me to freeze my eggs, which I talk about in my book. I wanted to get a publicist and I wanted to complete my manuscript by June. Well, I'd done the publicist and the egg freezing by the end of February, and I finished my manuscript by May of that year. And in getting the publicist, who was supposed to be helping me to do more talking head work around marketing and business expertise, she brought this opportunity to me to be on a dating reality show. And I'm like, are you insane? There's no way on God's green earth that I'm doing that. Like, no, and more no's. And I tried, believe it or not, because part of my thing was to say yes that year, right? I had a big say yes moment.
Yes.
Way before Ron's book came out, I had a year of yes, but yes, absolutely. And my friend, she brought it up to me. She said, you said you were going to say yes this year. So if you're going to do the exact opposite of everything that you've been doing in your life, this is a prime example of that. Like, be brave and live in what you committed to. And I said, you know what? You're right. I'm just going to say yes. And I did it. It was the most insane thing in the world. It honestly comes back to bite me in the hiney sometimes with certain situations, even today, in terms of just men and, you know, silliness, but insecurities. But be that as it may.
Yeah.
It was the best experience of my life because people in a professional space were able to see me at a personal level, at my core, in a vulnerable level. And it opened up the dialogue in ways that I'd never imagined that it would. It also created a space to represent brown girls in a very unique way on television at the time. Because at the time, everything was salacious, everything was ridiculous fighting, it had zero substance. And so for once in our lives as brown girls, you got to see me dating men, all different types of men wanting and desiring to be with me in an upfront, appropriate way. Right. Courting me appropriately. And when I tell you women from around the world, I'm talking about Korea, Switzerland, Germany, Africa, like Zimbabwe, like these random countries were reaching out to me on social media because they were so excited to see a narrative in this way. Mm-hmm. And I became the sort of focal point of this show. And this ability to possess all areas of our lives and, to ultimately have, found a relationship through that was even the sweeter side of it. And, unfortunately that relationship did not last, but it was, it was a moment in time and it was great. But the point was, I felt so powerful because it was the first time in my life that I was able to merge the two areas of my life. Unapologetically. I got to be this professional and sit in rooms with, I was sitting with the president of Diageo North America. We were having a dialogue about our Ciroc business. And at the end of the meeting, he pulls me aside and he says, Erika, I have to be honest with you. My wife and I, we love the show. We watch it every week. And I'm like, are you kidding? I was mortified. I couldn't believe it, but he loved it. He had such wonderful things to say. And he's just like, you're just such a darling. And, we're rooting for you. And we're just so excited for you. And it changed the whole dynamic of my relationship with the president of Diageo North America. He's now retired, Larry Schwartz. But I think it's amazing how when we own all parts of what God created us to be, how the world opens up for us.
It's true.
And unapologetically ourselves is the part and the richest part of us having the greatest experiences in life. Look at Cardi B. Cardi B is Cardi B. All the time. Yeah. All of who she is comes out and people love her. She's magnetic.
Yeah. Good,
bad, or indifferent, right? I actually like Cardi B. Good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, she has political power.
Right.
She has presidential candidates on speed dial.
Right.
Cardi.
Right. A girl from the Bronx.
Yeah. A girl from the Bronx.
A girl from the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What she like the Cardi B effect. Yeah. Just live your authentic life. You don't need to be
power.
Client yesterday. She's like, I just need you to tell me. I'm like, you need to tell your story. You need to own your story. Right. And people need to be authentic. I can give you all the pretty words, but it's not going to be enough.
Right.
You have to tell your story. You have to own your story. You don't have to tell it, but you have to own your story and you have to live out loud. That's why I always say live life out loud. My grandmother told me that shortly before she passed away. And it was a big, big component of my my speech when she passed away. And I owned it from the time I was 36 years old. And it's been my biggest asset and my proudest, I think my most powerful moment.
So I have one more question before you gotta go. What I really want to know, because this is a thing for me, is how to navigate change with courage. Like when I have to make major shifts, sometimes I'm a little bit uneasy, scared of it. So in your career, you have done it and you've been so courageous with it. So what is like a tip? How did you navigate that?
Well, that's interesting. So read the book, definitely, because the whole book is about, sort of triumph over transition. That's really what it's about. And, the reality is, the definition of courage is being afraid and doing it anyway, right?
Yep.
So afraid of change and then still doing it is courageous. Yep. So you're actually being courageous when you lean into something new in spite of your fear of it. I think that change is inevitable. We're not evolving, we're dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have to look at, as you move, as you grow, as you expand, things are just going to change. And nothing in life is permanent.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing in life is permanent. And I've recently learned over the last 2 years to experience things, not to possess them.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot possess things. You can merely experience them.
Yeah, I think Hustle has said the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't own my relationships. I just experience them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can't own people, not even your children. You have to experience them. You know, relationships come, relationships go. So the key is not to hold on them so tight because you're afraid to lose it, but to enjoy it while you have it. And when it goes, release it, because God is bringing something bigger, greater, and more amazing to you. And it's your next adventure and your next moment.
Thank you. You done affirmed that on our lives. God is bringing it. You done affirmed.
Because God is everything. God is not man. God is not woman. God is everything. And God is bringing something else to you.
Yep.
And he's not doing it to you. He's doing it for you.
Yep.
So when things happen, just take them. Own the experience, learn the lesson, be grateful that you're still here to talk about it, and just flow into the next thing, because it's going to be greater.
Right. Erika just anointed us. Thank you so much.
I think you have another calling, Erika.
Right. Pastor Erika. She just baptized us right now.
We can.
So can you please tell everybody where they can pick up the book? I know it's on Amazon, like, you know, how
Yes.
You,
So
how to,
the name of the
session with you. Yes, please.
Yes. And talk, you guys, we can read the book. We can go by chapters and have dialogue. I'd love to continue to talk to you guys. Wonderful, wonderful ladies. So the book is called What Mommy Never Told You, A Woman's Guide to the Next Phases of Life. And I always say one part memoir, one part self-help. But the book has a lot of advice. It has chapter summaries with what I call Pittman's rules. And they're little mantras that I live by in my life based on different areas of my life and the things that I've learned along the way. But then there's a lot of guided workbook exercises in the book to help you to, you know, sort of materialize your vision for your life, your goals, and different things in that way. And it's just a really wonderful, wonderful project. I worked on it for 12 years. I'm very, very proud of it. And I am excited for you guys to experience the book. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
We're actually going to follow up with you on that.
Yes.
And having like a deeper discussion just about the
Please do. And you can buy it on Amazon. If you just search by my name, if you don't remember the name of the book, if you just search by Erika Pittman, you'll see the What Mommy Never Told You book. The photo is actually the same photo that I have here on the Zoom. And then you can follow me at WMNTY, which is the acronym for What Mommy Never Told You book, or Erika M. Pittman on Instagram.
Okay.
We are so thankful for you. We appreciate you. I'm going to follow up with you on a number of things, make sure you're good, and then also a book discussion. So again, we are so happy to have you today.
Yes.
And
I'm so thankful. Thank you. Thank you, Queen. Thank you.
I mean, she was so dope. Thank
Wasn't
you,
she?
Nadia. Yes.
And she said, what did she say? Don't possess people, experience them. Because you never like to share people.
I don't. I have to take over Sarah, but I'm just going to experience them.
Yeah. So.
I mean, she gave a testimony. She gave all. And I love people that come and they are direct and they give you who they are.
Right.
And I think that's what Erika gave us and gave our audience and gave me and gave the universe. She gave us who she is, and that's the best way to present yourself to the world.
I agree. Own your story. Own your story, everyone. Everyone who's listening, owning your story is a thing.
Right.
That's a whole little thing I was working on.
Right. Because it's only one. It's only one Hetep. Ebron, Google me because it's only one of me.
Yeah. There's one
Nadia.
Maybe there's one Nadia Sasso. I'm definitely not the only Nadia Sasso, my dad's sister. So.
But it's only basically what we're saying.
Maybe the only doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Nadia Marie Sasso. But yes, like if you take anything away, take it. It's just be yourself. Be
Right.
yourself, and that's all about wellness and your spiritual mental health.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, we're gonna get out of here. And we want you to follow us, like us, comment on all our social media platforms.
speakHer Box Pod on all the social platforms, and then our website, speakherboxpodcast.com. And this concludes Collection 3.
2.
Oh, shit. And this concludes Collection 2.
Yes. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you back here again next week for a whole new collection. Mwah, mwah. Peace out.